Drake's a real good dude, first and foremost. You know, he heard my music probably a year back, reached out and just gave me respect on it. You know what I'm saying? So it was a mutual feeling for us appreciating the music. I put out Section 80 a couple months later, like, yo, I need you on this tour. You know, it'll be a pleasure, be an honor. I was like, that's dope, man. So, you know what I mean? I can't back down from that, you know, to expand my music to a crowd that haven't heard it before. I know it's 15,000 people out there. I'm used to 2,000. I'm finna work. I'm finna get at least 100 of these folks, you know, to understand what Kendrick Lamar was, man. And it was fun, man. We had a great bond on there, man. ASAP Rocky did his thing. Just a bunch of young cats, man, spreading good music, man. So it was a ball.
Oh, Miss B, you never been? Oh man, you don't know what you're missing. All right, let me see. Let me try turn on video. All right, there we go.
Not Neil though.
I know, but I accepted Neil's
I
though.
don't know. I don't know.
Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, Miss B, you want to go? All right, we gonna toss it up. We making strip club plans, Jeff. You know what I'm saying? You in? You going? How, you don't want to? I mean, are you sure? I mean, you don't even know when we're going. Don't you want to know the date to make sure?
Okay, where are y'all going? How about that?
I don't know. It could be anything from August to Squire
No,
to
no,
Cadillac Lounge to King of
no.
Diamonds. We haven't figured it out
First,
yet.
first off, y'all not going to King of Diamonds because y'all are not going anyway. Management's not going to allow that. So let's just cut the BS.
Look, man, look. I've been, employee of the month, and I think I'm due to put in some. You know what I'm saying? What up, Dex? You going to the
You?
strip club? We go?
What's
No,
strip club though?
I don't
no.
know. Either August, Squire, Cadillac, or King of Diamonds.
He wouldn't go to a strip club if his name was Strip Joe Dex and all that.
I'll go strip club. I'll go strip club.
Word.
I'll go
All
strip
right,
club.
Jeff. So it's on you now.
Where's Neil at, man? Yeah.
I don't know. He's.
Nip, nip. Neil got the request on it. There he is.
Wait.
There we go.
There he is.
Okay. All right.
I
Cool,
came
cool,
to the
cool.
party, but they wouldn't let me in. You know what
There we go.
I'm
There
saying?
we go.
I came to the party, they wouldn't let me in. All I heard was some
All right.
Agnes talk and some more craziness,
He
man. I'm
said
like, what?
Yeah.
bullet wounds and
Yeah. Shout
stab
out.
wounds.
Listen, man. Shout out to Agnes, yo. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It serves a purpose.
No,
I don't
Oh
want
my
to.
God.
Nah.
no.
Hey, man. Look, it's there for a reason. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Shout out to everybody that frequents that spot. It's nothing like getting a lap dance by, cigarettes and
Bullet holes
Coronas.
and patrons. Okay.
Pause. Pause. Flag on the play. When the last time you heard somebody being in Agnes? I don't think they've been open since the pandemic. I'm
Really?
just saying. Yeah, they've been shut down for a minute. I don't know about no. Okay, first and foremost, you can't say Aggies. You got to say Bullet Hole Patrol. Then
That's
people
not
will know what
nice.
you're talking about.
That's not
I'm just keeping it.
nice.
DL, have you been to
That's,
Aggies?
yeah.
When?
I mean, um, I don't know. So I was leaving a very professional event at Black Market, and then I just kind of strolled next door because it's there. You want to frequent, you want to support black business, black dollar. Well, I don't know if it's not a black business, is it?
Yeah.
Where,
No.
where, where's management at?
Listen,
That's why he's in the
I'm not
car.
a
He's in
person.
the car. He's in the car. You see, he's in the car. You
Okay.
see,
Well,
he's in
Now
so
the
this
see,
all
car.
makes sense. This all
so
makes
seeing,
sense now.
well,
This
seeing
all
you want
makes
to be
sense now.
funny. She
No.
was with me. She was there. We all strolled over,
We
and
who's we all? Who's we
it
all?
was
Go
it
ahead,
was
name drop.
me. It was me, management. I feel like my sister-in-law. Damn, I don't remember, yo. It was like four of us though,
I gotta put on my
and
professor glasses for this one.
I'm gonna.
I can't hear you. I lost audio.
Gotta be like the
exactly.
comedian. Like you
Man,
might want to stick to the plan.
management put that bug on that phone. That's why he freezing right now.
You gotta
Yeah,
stick
that
to the
Shut down
plan.
the Wi-Fi.
No,
That's what it
that
was
no, that was
called.
man just freeze him, let him know like cut the BS, get to the topic. Like you going
no,
off
that was.
track.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
We
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 hear
hear
you.
can.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was a management call. But
told
I guess
you, told you,
Hey, hey,
told you,
you know,
told you.
I'm gonna leave it alone. But I got one question for you before I leave it alone. Right?
uh
What makes a good strip club?
huh.
Good what?
Um,
What makes a strip
What makes
club
a
a good?
good strip club?
Mm.
um,
The caliber of women.
Mm.
Um, to me, the whole the ambiance, the whole atmosphere of it, like it gotta be that right. You know what I mean? Because it's there's a lot of spots that they aim it to be like kings of diamonds, and it's only one king of diamonds, and let that be that entity. Like you know what I mean?
mm,
Um,
Well, the reason I asked that question because you know, we start talking strip clubs, you know, Atlanta, Miami, you know, and list goes on, you know, Vegas. Um, but a lot of times people go to strip clubs for different reasons. They go as couples, you know what I'm saying? Some people go
yeah,
because that
that
might be
works.
like when in Atlanta, Magic City got good chicken wings. I'm
I
just
mm,
heard,
saying
I
that you
heard
could get
that,
on the late night, you know.
I heard that.
So
mhm.
things, you know, that like
I think it depends. You know what I'm saying? I see Jeff is completely silent, so I'm gonna assume. You know what I'm
Nah,
saying?
I'm just letting y'all rap, bro. What you want me to do? Jump
Yeah,
in and say what?
yeah.
You want me to
Why
jump
don't you?
in?
Can you?
Like,
Why
I'm
don't
just
you do
saying.
us a favor
At the
before
end
we
of the
get?
day, like Neil said, it's a variety of things. Like Dex said, the atmosphere, the women, the food, the drinks. You know, it's a variety of things, man. You know what I mean?
Well, shout out to Squire.
He said
Squire's getting some
Squad's got
love in
some.
the chat room.
Mm.
You know, Squire got some bullet wounds too, by the way.
Definitely do.
I seen him. Yeah. All right. So, all right. So, so while we're here, right? I don't know how best to even segue into it, but I'm sure we all have our opinions about J. Cole and the apology heard around the world, and and I have maybe a different take, but I wanted to get you all's take on it and why you feel that way.
Mhm.
So I think everyone heard it, right? So
Mhm.
let's go, Neil. What do you think? What did you think about? What do you? So okay, let me ask two questions for each person. What do you think about his apology in totality, and then also, what do you think that means for him moving forward?
okay. Oh, first, what I think about his apology, I think because of the caliber of person he is, his character, because that was the main thing that he stressed in his apology. You know, it brought him out of character. So I think because of the person he is, he's maybe looking into it a little too deep. I think that far as the apology and a whole to not take up a whole bunch of time going into my total thoughts of the thing. I think far as the apology as a whole, I believe that it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. I think that we have the tendency to take things out of content because he said that's not my character. That was his reason for apologizing. He also made a statement saying that he didn't want this, to be backlash and get taken out of content and become something else because that's not what he's about. So um I I don't think it's gonna do anything to him as far as his career. He's J. Cole. He's gonna be good. He's a great rapper. He's going to continue to make good music. Hopefully, get out your emotional feelings and go. Far as the sport of battle rap and the culture itself, I don't see nothing wrong with it. It's not like these dudes is coming to blows. You know, we've had a history of when dudes is going back and forth on song that it gets taken out of content and then it turns into something else. So I think that was his reason for giving the apology, hoping that, you know, let's make sure that this doesn't go too far. And you know, J. Cole's a good guy, man. He's just a rapper, you know. So and so is Kendrick, and we definitely know Aubrey ain't about that life. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like th-
So
that's the same Jimmy in a wheelchair. Like, don't act like I'm saying something crazy. We talk about Jimmy in a wheelchair. I
yeah,
think he's a great rapper as well, but it is what it is, you know?
Dex, what say you?
I agree with Neil, but it's just my thing is sometimes if you say something, just stand on it. If you're gonna say something,
Was it
stand
right or
on it.
wrong though?
Um, he has a right to express his opinion and his thoughts and how people take it, and that's the problem with today. It's like everybody sometimes looks, everyone, a lot of people on the internet look too deep into things, and that's when it gets taken and taken out of proportion of what it was. So that's why he felt he had, because at the end of the day, when, like Neil said, he don't get backlash because he may come out with a hit and he next thing you know he getting blacklisted because what he said to Drake, or
Hmm.
at the end of the day it's just it, he has the right to speak what he wants, but like I said, if you're gonna say something, stand on it. So for him to apologize, I felt he could have did that like behind closed doors. I don't feel he had to do that in public.
Oh, so to that point, because the old saying, I don't know the old saying, but we all know when I say it where it came from. If you disrespect me publicly, you need to apologize publicly. So all too often people do that public bashing and then they want to call and send text message to apologize, but to the people they didn't, you know what I'm saying? It don't hit the same. So
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate him engaging the same exact way as he engaged with the slight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, because I'm gonna take it a couple of places. What my take? Jeff, what say you?
I agree with them, man. I mean, at the end of the day, like Neil said, he's still gonna be J. Cole regardless.
Hmm.
What it is, if that's not in his character, then that's just not in his character. You know what I mean? Like I say, rap is for everybody. Everybody don't need to rap. Like they said when it first popped off. Someone said, we know Drake has been battle tested. Rather somebody read whatever. We've seen him in situations like this before, right? Um, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a situation where Drake had. Did Drake and J. Cole have words before?
No, I think it was more him and Kendrick had words before.
Him and
Okay,
Kendrick.
Yeah,
so what we
him and J
saying?
Cole have been like openly.
So J. Cole, we never really seen him in this situation. Rather, he got out of character. He did it. You know what I mean? If he wanted to apologize, that's to each his own. You know what I mean? That's not going to discredit him for what he is. He's a phenomenal rapper at the end of the day. So if people want to say, "Oh, he's a terrible rapper because he apologized," then so be it. You know what I mean? Like Neil said, he's still going to be him. I don't think that's going to mess up his legacy or nothing like that. People are going to laugh, haha, kiki now, forget about it next week.
Next week. I mean, I will say, Meek Mill and Diddy are definitely happy that this
Yo,
is
leave my guy
definitely
alone,
take.
dog. Leave my guy alone, dog.
Oh
Don't mention Diddy. Leave Diddy alone,
Oh,
dog. Don't say shit
let,
no
about
no
let
Diddy,
that.
no.
dog.
Yo, when you mention
Don't
Diddy, he
say
gets real emotional. Let that
don't say
go.
shit about Diddy.
Well,
Don't
I
I
think
agree?
he
I
was.
agree.
yeah.
I agree.
Yo,
I do
listen,
agree. I
listen.
do agree. I do
Honestly,
agree. Hold on. I do agree with the
mm,
because it took the distraction off
Yeah,
of Diddy, take the spotlight off of Diddy. So
yeah,
I do agree with
but
you on that.
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
honestly,
I
but
don't. So
honestly, hold up.
Hold on.
Honestly,
Hold on. Two
listen.
flag on the
Hold
play.
on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hold on. Honestly, every time Diddy come up, my man get a little emotional. I'm starting to think he was at a Diddy party. I'm starting to think he was at a
Hold
man.
Diddy
on.
party because
He
every
So
going
time
to
Diddy come, he
work.
get emotional,
Flag
man.
on
Hold
the
on.
play. Hey,
look,
yo,
look.
Dex, man.
So I
You
Yo,
want
can't
to
get
listen.
mad every time somebody say Diddy, man. I feel like Eddie
I'm telling
in
you, he was at a
barbershop
Diddy
right
party, man.
now,
yo,
He was
man.
at a Diddy
What
party.
you
He
gonna
yo.
was at a
do?
Diddy
I
party.
listen. I wanna say this right because I was just somewhere yesterday. I was at an event and the person was commenting or whatever, and they said something. And they were like, no Diddy. And like some people laughed or whatever. Like, I'm not gonna ever adopt that into my verbiage. I don't think that's funny. I think it's a whole
No.
fucked up thing. I think and aside from, like, his family's actually in the room, or she was, right? But I'm open and honest about, like, this was my idol for years. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And so, like, it breaks my heart about the totality of it, and it's just so many different layers. And me as a man, the man that I'm grown into, and with this culture that we all love and we've all made money off of and have, what I'm saying, took part in, and all that, is a lot of shit that we have had to unlearn. Things that we once celebrated when we were teenagers and young men and all that type of shit. So it's just, it's just fucked up. So I never am gonna be like, no Diddy, ha ha ha. Like, I unfollow 50. I don't need to publicly fucking cancel 50 and all that shit. Like, I don't really care. I'm just not interested in seeing his antics when it comes to someone who, like, meant the world to me. I don't think it's funny.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
So
Dex, I get it.
you you know
But
what? Let me ask the question though. On a flip note, and I know we're talking about one thing, but
Mhm.
honestly, like, cause what I do notice is y'all know that we're the most forgiving people, except towards our own.
yeah,
True.
Now,
yeah,
this Diddy situation could really get crazy. This could be um R. Kelly all over again. And I hate to say
Mm.
it, but it could be. So
bigger than that though.
it maybe not. Who knows,
Yeah.
right? But the question is, like, are we going to continue to condemn Diddy? And we can't get mad when someone picks at the I'll, for lesser words, I'll say stupidity. Because us as black men, we know we can't. There's certain things that we just can't do. Because, and for whatever reason, these celebrities who are in these positions, they keep allowing themselves to get put in these tight holes. And yeah,
No pun.
no pun intended. But you know what I'm
Right.
saying? They're putting themselves in a situation. Like, you know,
Tell you, boy.
nobody told Diddy to be like, you start questioning some of the things that's going on and some of the things that's being said. So I don't condone what he's done, but what the only thing that I say is, far as the people, again, we're unforgiven, but let's not do. If we're gonna talk about Diddy, we're gonna talk about R. Kelly. We got to talk about all the other people that are surrounded. Because the difference with Diddy, um, you're gonna start hearing names like Bruce Willis and Leonardo DiCaprio, and you know,
Mm.
Mark
the list,
Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg, and the list
Mm.
goes on. You know what I'm
They
saying?
all
Because
partied
Mm.
with Diddy.
exactly.
Mm.
It even
And
goes back to the Rat Pack days, like when we
Mm.
used to talk about Frank Sinatra and Sammy Davis Jr. and like dealing with the Bill Cosby thing. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is all the same circle. I think that's one of the reasons why they're kind of trying to keep a lid on this as much as possible with the whole Diddy situation, because everybody know Diddy gives the word is Diddy gives the best parties, and everybody,
yeah.
regardless of race, uh, culture, or whatever, people are you trying to be at a Diddy party. So yeah,
I, I think so I will give my if someone has some afterwards, but otherwise, I'll go back to the J. Cole piece. I think when it comes to being at a Diddy party, right? Because I think all of us have been, and I'm not talking all of you working, right? I'm saying that each of you have gone to a party and maybe been there for an hour or two and left, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just because you were physically there doesn't mean that you were partaking in whatever was happening in door number 3. But
Right.
the perception is, oh, Neil was there. I seen him there, right? And because I personally went through something on a very, very small level of people saying shit that wasn't true in a game of telephone, I learned in real time just how that can go, where shit can be said and then people believe it, right? And so at least I'm here where people can call me and ask if that's true versus we can't call Diddy and say, yo, is that true? And why would he answer if it's true or not anyway, legally, right? But I think that, and I spoke about this when we did the live with Sparring Minds and Coach La. Shout out to them. Um, the reality is there are people that have certain kinks and fetishes, right? And when you are a celebrity, whether you're Halle Berry, Cameron Diaz, Jennifer Lopez, or fucking, whomever, you
Mm-hmm.
can't just go to a Team Jerk party and touch people and fucking get your titties licked in the middle of the floor, right?
Oh
You
God.
can't do that. So I'm being extreme because that's so if you're in a space, whether it's a swingers party, whether it's a resort where, hedonism and shit, there's a reason why these places exist. Right? And it's not for general consumption. That's why there's not videos all over the place. So I don't demonize that part. I think we tend to we collectively tend to cast judgment on people who are in the different shit, right? I think that's mixed in with this also with like the sexuality piece of it. Now, the illegal part, I always had an issue. I was probably one of the only people in my circle of people I spoke to that was always against and looked at it weird for Diddy to be fucking with Young Miami. I always that shit grossed me out and I wasn't interested in it, right?
Laura
But I
Harvey.
also I remember when I was in exactly. I remember when I was in middle school and girls would go in to high school and meeting their boyfriends. I felt the same way back then. So that's a separate issue that happens also, right?
Honestly,
We
I
oh
believe. Honestly, I believe that, like you said, is that's a whole nother live because
yeah yeah
it's
yeah.
so much to be touched on with that. And
And no pun
yeah,
again.
yeah, exactly. See, but now that's my point. Y'all can't get mad at nobody saying no Diddy if you going no
No
pun
no
intended. No,
no
it's
no
all the
because
same.
No,
The,
no,
it's
because
not the same.
I'm never going to make, regardless of how things are going out, right? And not to compare because it's two separate things. But Dame Dash is somebody who I admired, and I'm like, yo, he's
Mhm.
brilliant. And I just feel like what he is doing every single time he speaks is taking pegs off of his legacy and his brilliance and what he stood for. I thought. And I just feel like it's fucked up as I'm getting older and as I'm watching the people who, you know, we were outside when these people were building their empires and their fortune and their catalogs, and people are just not aging well, and people are just doing goofy shit. And it's like, damn, nigga, just be cool, yo. Just chill out.
What is
Just chill
considered?
out.
Hold on. What is considered cool nowadays with social media, though? What is
I'll
considered
tell
cool
you what.
nowadays?
I'll tell you the people to me that's considered. So LL. Whenever you see him, right, he's fucking licking his lips, and now he's like doing it more so, right? I think that's a little crazy. However, it's consistent. It's consistent to what LL has always done, right? Nas to me is aging. Nas to me is aging well. Ghostface, with the exception of having his pants hanging off his ass crazy, is aging like he's still Ghostface, right? Um, Jada Kiss is Jada Kiss. Styles is Styles. Chic is Chic. I'm like, yo, that's dope. I don't like when people do bozo. Like, you know, it's I don't know. It's just one of those things where like, you know, people tend to. There's two things. One, people were like picked on and nerds and shit, and then as time goes on and as they get older, history changes where they were the cool guys and they were the ones that was selling keys and shit and had the whole block run. It's like that. I don't remember history that way, guy. right? But because you survived all the shit, the shootouts and whatever, you survived. Now you get to tell your story, right? And it's not that's not how it happened. But also, I just think that there's a certain grace. Yes, I don't wear shirts and ties everywhere I go,
Hmm.
right? But I'm also not walking around with my pants hanging off my ass and looking crazy. Like Jim Jones, sometimes like he just looks a little crazy. And I can see the difference of all three of you on this. I can see the difference of
Okay.
all three of you on this live versus him and how he moves. And you look at him versus Cameron and look at the difference,
Right.
right? And Cam
Right.
does some shit too that's kind of wild. But just look at like one is fuck every time you see him, he's smiling. And every time you see the other one, he just looks angry. Like, damn, yo, relax.
Oh,
Be
God.
be anyway. So to J. Cole,
Mhm.
this is what I feel like, right? I don't like every time something gets brought up, everyone's like, "Yo, man, this is the culture. This how hip hop started, man. I'm tired of everybody being so friendly and hugging up and shit and blah blah blah." Like, I'm tired of hearing that. And why I'm tired of hearing that is because, yes, hip hop was started on competition, right?
Very
But if we
competitive
want
sport.
to hold, if we want to hold those same metrics, right? Like when the country and the founding fathers and all these different things were put into place, we are now going to like try to amend them and correct them and the laws and the different shit in the prison system, and not to serious it out, but things were started a certain way, but we're realizing as we get older that the shit is not either conducive, productive, or fair, right? So because it was started this way doesn't mean that it has to constantly be. I don't see fucking Taylor Swift beefing with Miley Cyrus. I'm tired of every time we tend to do something like, let's all get together and have a fucking union where like, Steve Stout and Nas don't have to put together $500,000 and give it to Scarface and Rakim. Let's actually do what the actors did and the writers did, right? Let's band together and say, fuck you, Universal, fuck you, Interscope. Let's do that. And so I just don't. And so for J. Cole to apologize and say it disrupted my peace, I am trying to find that constantly. People are constantly disrupting my peace because I'm allowing them to,
Hmm.
right? But I'm constantly trying to find that peace. That's why I don't answer my phone all the time. So for him to say that, I get that. And for him to say that publicly in a place where the moment he said it, everybody's taking shots at him, saying he's a pussy, this, that, and the third. Don't ever talk to me about being top five, top three. It's like, damn, yo, like, he's growing, yo. Like, therapy is a real thing that not all of us do.
Right.
That's therapy talking. You know what I'm saying? How do you take shots at that?
I was listening to a podcast. I don't know, was it XM something? And MC Light, it was XM, and MC Light was speaking, and she was giving her spill on her point of view of the whole situation. And what she said was dope. She was like, she doesn't think that he needed to apologize, but she was like, she understands why he said what he said, as far as hoping that this doesn't again getting taken out of content, because you got to realize that some of these people who listen to this music, this art form that we have, they don't understand the nature of good sport. It's like a basketball game. You know what I'm saying? There's no, when we're playing. It's when I'm LeBron and I'm playing for the Lakers. You know, I don't give a shit about what Brown and Tatum's doing over there on the Celtics. I'm trying to win.
Mm,
I'm King James. Then when we get broken off, and that goes for whether you play on the West, whether you play on the East. Then when we get to the All-Star game, the same people that I was competing against, now we're on the same team. And our
Mhm.
thing is beat the West. And West's idea is beat the East, right? It's competitive sport. But for whatever reason in rap, at some point that went from, because it started off as competitive sport. If we go back to
Yeah.
Busy B, Kumo D days, if we go back to the LL and Shin and the KRS and Shin, and like it goes on and on. Dudes wasn't trying to kill each other. They was trying to, you know, I'm the shit. When you was a
Right.
rapper, you rap, I'm the shit. And I think there's been reference far as the whole Cole situation to what's the song he got with Benny the Butcher?
Oh,
That's the
um,
that's that's when
Daddy,
they
Lincoln, Caddy.
Johnny P's caddy. Johnny P's
Yeah.
caddy. So in that joint, he said some wild shit in that joint. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at least putting favorite rappers next in nooses, and it's a reference to Jesus in there. And then, I was seeing some things where they were saying that, um, Kendrick always presents himself as a Messiah, as
He's the best.
Jesus. Like I'm
He's the
I'm
best.
I'm him. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
not to cut you off
So
now. So it
yep.
was like I was watching our podcast, and they were saying like with Kendrick and Drake was a little deeper, and that's because Drake brought Kendrick and damn, who else?
On.
Brought someone on tour first. Like that
Yep.
was their first major tour.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah.
basically, but they always had like a little competition amongst each other until when Kendrick did that Control record on Big Sean's album, Drake was the only one who took offense to it. And everybody else was like, hip hop, man, it's competition. I ain't worrying about that shit. Like, I ain't worrying about
Mm.
that. Let him how you feel. I'm gonna come my way. He gonna do him. It was only Drake who really took it real to heart. And next thing you know, like, and them two just always had like a on again, off again, throwing subliminal shots at each other.
Yeah, because Drake Drake made the comment on some interview he was doing when he on one of his albums, and then you know he basically downplayed it, and the shots wasn't taken at him, but he was talking about where Kendrick made the New York comment, and then after that Kendrick did the freestyle on the BT
Oh yeah,
Awards joint,
yeah.
and that was kind of like the match that that was the match being struck, and
I
it's
was.
on now. You know what I'm saying? Like we're putting fuel to the fire, and they've been going back and forth since then. But they still was on records with each other.
Yeah.
They still were. They still was working with each other, and it was in subliminal. In the same, like I said, back to code, same thing. Like there was, there's always going to be like, well, who's he talking about? When you say a mean punchline, and it could be in reference to anybody. Um, but the question is, who is he talking about? And if somebody takes it to offense, then let's go.
Right.
But,
But
but when
long
does
as
that
this,
get? When does that get old though? Because it
that's the
definitely
question.
happens with women, right? A lot of women rappers, blah blah blah, dumbass bitch, you ain't making no money, blah blah, fuck your man, blah 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 blah. And it's like, yo, she talking about who she, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it's just. And shout out to Br said Cole stayed himself. That's what the game needed. 99.9% of lying and faking. So I wanted to make sure I shouted that out.
Mm,
But like,
definitely.
when does that, and to the point of being competitive and talking about somebody, right? And Jeff, you can answer this in your own way, and I'm sure you'll be very mindful of how you answer it. So let's just say let's just say somebody said, fuck dog and them yellow and black niggas, blah 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 blah, and then y'all happen to see them at Skycap.
Well,
Is
well,
there? Oh man,
well,
this is just
well,
hip hop,
well,
bro.
well, well, well,
Uh huh.
well, well.
Is he
Short
stuck?
story. Short story.
Uh huh.
A artist. I'm not gonna throw nobody under the bus. Word had that they was gonna perform on Arsenio Hall and they was gonna wear the Bruins gear. And we was like, asked him not to wear it, and he said, "F them niggas," and we
Oh,
went to. So you know what I'm saying? You got to stand on principles and morals sometimes, bro. Next
I
subject.
get that.
You get it,
I
right?
get that.
You get that, right?
But
I ain't got to say no names.
see, this is the thing. This is the thing.
Had he not said F them niggas, he would have been cool. But he couldn't say that.
but it's just words.
Bro,
Sticks and
No,
stones may
you
break
see my
my
hand?
bones.
You see my hand?
flag on
You
the
Uh
see
play.
this side, right? You see this side? You see that side. There's a big difference. Had he said it, it might have been different, but he said it.
huh.
All right?
Oh,
Flag on the
oh,
Yeah.
play.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
yikes,
Yeah.
DL, don't
yikes,
do it. No name dropping.
Yeah. No
No
name
name
yikes.
dropping.
dropping. No
You figure it
names.
Yo,
out.
Because
You figure it
this
out.
this smart water is so good. Yo, shout out to Glacial, yo. This water is so good. I'm just gonna
This
continue to
Poland Spring is still popping and it's going to continue to
yikes,
pop.
I think
Okay?
yikes.
the problem with hip hop is J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, even Drake for that matter. This ain't that. And, and we was in a different time
Right.
far as rap. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, again, if we go back to the beginning of battle rap, you didn't hear about nobody whipping on nobody. You know what I'm saying? You didn't hear about nobody pulling the pistol, none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Nah,
It was
it's
just you gonna
like,
get it in.
like,
But to the history that we have with our history, our music, our culture, our people, you know what I'm
hmm
saying? People quickly turn it into something that it's not. So,
yeah.
and I believe that was the reason for J. Cole's apology to
and I,
hope to,
No,
to put
like I said,
a hold
it,
on that.
like he said, that's not his character. Like first off, we also got to understand that we're all human, right? And when someone says something, we all get emotional first and we react. Then once you react, you think about it, you calm down. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happened. He reacted, he thought about it. It's not in his character. You know, some people figure, well, you said it, just leave it where it is. But you know that was his stance, and he took his stance. You know what I mean?
And I don't believe that he even needed to say anything. So I feel like this whole situation is very um how can I concisely put okay, so this whole situation is fascinating to me if you watch people and just get fascinated by just human behavior, right? It's fascinating in the sense of that record, that verse that J. Cole put out, for me in my ears, it wasn't I mean, I guess Cole took a stray because he was next to Drake, but it wasn't even for Cole, right? He didn't have to say anything, right? So
Real quick question. Who's the big three, anyways? I thought the big three was Paul Pierce and the basketball leagues. Unless I'm missing something. No, I'm serious. Cause I thought
cut,
about that. I was
cut your
like,
shit, Jeff.
yeah. All right. I'm just saying though.
all I
well,
I'm
know
just
is
saying though. Who was originally the big three? That's all I'm trying to figure out.
yeah,
And we gonna keep it going. Who was the big three was who? Who was the big three?
Pierce, Garnett, and Ray
Ray
Allen,
Allen,
right?
right? Right. Okay. So
Yeah.
I'm just trying to understand. Like I get it. I'm just saying.
Well,
Maybe I'm
so
not in tune to what's going on, but I'm like,
so
okay.
so for me, right? If you have a relationship with a person, and this is also what happens within, I can only speak for you know the culture that I'm a part of. This happens with us all the time where like I feel like each of us have enough of a relationship on this call where if I'm doing a record and I'm like, yo, you know, um I can't even if I'm blah 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 looking for a DJ, whack ass niggas, blah blah blah. I hit niggas 2 times. Like I would think that Jeff's not gonna like, oh, he's taking shots at me, right? And I feel like people are just so sensitive, artists, myself included, we are just hypersensitive with any resemblance of something comes up, like we don't even take a second to process it, evaluate how our relationship has been. Is this something that his character would do? Should I call this person? Should I text this person? Now, if you text somebody and you call them and they're sending you the voicemail, then okay. Then I'm left for my own devices of how I process this. But you skip all that and you just go and jump out the window. So J. Cole, he made that comment. I don't feel like he needed to.
No.
But then, I think that you're now seeing everyone that Drake was literally standing beside making hit records with, they're all shooting at him. So Rick Ross, Future, um, uh, ASAP Rocky.
But what did
No,
Metro Boomin do?
ASAP
What did Metro
ASAP
Boomin
Rocky ain't
do to him,
shooting at
nigga?
Drake. ASAP Rocky ain't shooting at Drake.
What did
Yeah, he
No
did.
way,
what
buddy.
what did
No, he
Metro
didn't.
Boomin what did Metro
When?
Boomin do?
Hold up.
What did he do?
When did ASAP shoot at Drake?
Um, Drake been making record. Drake made a comment about Rihanna,
I
something,
just see I just seen
and
ASAP doing an interview saying Drake's a stand-up guy. He
that's
kept his
old.
word when he was. Hey, bro.
No,
Listen.
I
I
got
think
that, and I
okay,
wanted to play
okay,
that. I wanted
okay,
to play that for tonight. But
so
ASAP made a record.
The only
Mhm.
person that put on for me when I ain't have nobody was Drake. I'm talking about Drake was the first person to put on like before anybody. He didn't want to sign me.
Yeah.
It was like, yo, that's raw talent, yo. Like you gotta shine, yo. I'm gonna see to it. I forever owe Drake.
the
Mhm.
best way to clear this up, right? And this is a question. Let's say Drake wasn't at the level that he was right now in the rap game.
True. This wouldn't mean nothing.
Different
nobody
story,
Nothing.
right?
shooting.
It wouldn't
Different
mean
story,
nothing.
right?
It wouldn't mean nothing.
Different
Yeah.
story.
It
Like
wouldn't
you
mean
said,
nothing.
everybody's shooting at Drake. Why? Remember this R&B ain't just the same guy that Meek was supposed to expose for having the Ghost Rider, but everybody's
Mhm.
still shooting at him.
Mhm.
Makes you think,
Like
It's
right?
that's
If
a
if
bipolar
Drake
relationship.
wasn't where he was supposed to be, then I mean, I get it.
but again, does it have to? Like, I just don't see. And I love all different music from Coldplay to
Mm-hmm.
Evanescence to
Mm-hmm.
Alanis Morissette.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't see Creed shooting at Coldplay.
It's only our culture, bro. We
And
understand
so,
it's
do we
only in hip hop.
accept that and play into it, or do we say,
Well,
"Nah, I'm cool with that"?
well. First of all, people. No matter how many things you do great, it is. As soon as you do one thing wrong, everybody wants to ridicule you.
Yeah.
You
Well,
see what I'm saying? It's only in
well,
our culture.
the question is, so Cole, some subliminals. Kendrick, some subliminals. Drake, some subliminals. They do records together, then there's more subliminals.
Everybody says subliminals when they make records to keep it funky.
Yep, absolutely. So we get to a point where Kendrick, excuse me, Cole gets on a record and makes reference to the big three and makes reference to him being Muhammad Ali. What we forget is before there was the Paul Pierce, Garnett, Ray Allen, there was the Sonny Liston, the Muhammad Ali, and
Uh,
help me out. That was the original big three.
Wait. Not Sugar Ray. That was
Not
before
Sugar
his
Ray.
time, right?
Joe, was it Joe?
Joe Frazier.
Joe Frazier? I think it was Joe Frazier. Joe Frazier, Sonny Liston, Muhammad Ali.
Uh,
Um, okay. So
uh,
when I heard the record in the comment, I didn't take it as a diss. I took it as I'm Muhammad Ali. Neil Drake and Dex, I'm fucking Muhammad Ali. You niggas in your feelings? You see what I'm saying? Like, and that's the problem. We always, you gotta be, we're in a state, our our culture is in such a fucked up state that we have to be mindful for being creative or expressing our, it's art, right?
Freedom of
We're,
speech,
we're
man.
rhyming,
Freedom of
right? You know
speech,
what I'm
man.
saying? So then in response to that, here's where the shit hits the fan. Kendrick says, "Fuck the big three, it's Big Me," right? So now it's like, wait a minute, like, you know, because he took it there. But my thing is, did they have a conversation? Did they not? You know, and yeah, it's kind of like, the fuck, like, is this nigga dissing me? You know what I'm saying? So, and he went further. So now we're here. But then we get to the whole Drake situation. It's kind of like, what the fuck? But Drake makes a record, and we forget about the Big Sean record. Big Sean made a record in response to this shit. Everybody's making these records, but Drake makes a record now. We got Future, Ross, Metro Boomin, and everybody else and their mama who wants to jump in and put their 2 cents to get into this this dance. But I don't see a problem with it. It's fucking wrestling. These niggas might be on the phone laughing about this shit just like we having a conversation about it right now. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, that's fair.
because it's entertainment, right? So I think that Cole's apology was just, it was,
Bowing out.
what you call it,
Bowing
it was
out.
not even bowing out. I don't think he was bowing out. I think it was more of a security measure. Like, yo, before this shit get out of control, and because now you got other people who didn't have nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And they're getting involved. So, you know,
Because he's been the top guy all this time. But the Rick Ross shit, for example, like, I just don't understand. I don't understand, man. And I think that, and the other piece with me, and not to turn the conversation another way, is like, there's so much shit that's happening, and like, there's rights being stripped left and right. There's history trying to be erased from books. There's just all this shit that, like, I'm not expecting anyone to be making records about these things, but it just would be nice to. We know that people have short attention spans, right? So the same day that fucking DI's being taken away from whatever, or some departments being eliminated, or with Universal, they're eliminating 50% of their staff or whatever, is the same day that a disc record comes out, and now we're all this way. You know what I'm saying?
Distraction.
And it's like, God damn. It's
Distraction.
like, damn, and I get. I'm all for, like, if you see a car accident and you're driving by, you're looking, right? Or we all watch the reality TV shows because our life might be fucked up, but it's not as fucked up as theirs. So I want to watch that. I want to watch that car crash. But god damn, and it's, again, like, why can't I like all the artists that I like? You know what I'm saying? And it for me also, and this is what I guess makes me shout out to Peter Parker, right? He said something to me a million years ago when we were at a show at the Middle East, and I was backstage, and he was like, he was like, DL, I always thought you was really nice, this, that, and the third. I'm paraphrasing, right? He's like, I always thought you was really nice, this, that, and the third. And, but I just feel like, the type of person you are and that I know you to be, like, I don't feel like you're cut out to be in the industry. So you want to just make records and sell and do some shows and maybe do like a couple of tours and shit, but like, are you cut out to be fucking sleeping on the floor, this, that, and the third, and he started like naming all this shit that at the time, like, Slane made a lot of sacrifices. You know what I'm saying? And he like gave himself to chase that. You know what I'm saying? But what I took from that conversation is, you know, I'm secure within myself to stand next to anyone from 8-Zip, because I think he's on the call. He was 8-Zip, Dre Rob, Slane, Acrobatic, whomever, right? Without feeling like a shell of myself. It's okay. I love and I've been vocal about, Royce the 5'9" is one of my favorite artists.
Hmm.
Lyricist, period. I can't do what Royce does. I'm okay with saying that. Why is that crazy to say you can't? You don't have to say it publicly, but you should know internally that that's not your ability, right? The way Joyner Lucas puts words together, I can't do. But the way I deliver my music, he can't do in a genuine way. It won't work. That's okay. Why do we constantly have to be, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm the... No, you're you, yo. You're you. That's okay.
Because
Why has it got to be a constant fucking thing?
it's because our music comes from that. That's where it derived from. Um, like when rap music first started, that's what people rapped about. Like, I'm I'm better than you. Period. Right? You are aware that you might got about 5 disc records coming out tomorrow. It's just gonna be on Instagram,
Yeah.
Spotify, SoundCloud, all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because again, people take things. You said it earlier. People's attention span is this big. So I don't know if those guys that you mentioned are on the call, if they jumped in, if they still might be on the call. But if someone takes that and be like, well, fucking DL said 8 Zip, and Zip's like, what? Like, fuck this thing say about me? And that shit gets easily taken out of content. But I don't see a problem with it if it remains a sport. If if when it's friendly fire, you know what I'm saying, still sharp and still. That's all it
I,
is. You
I
know what I'm saying? So
I say this. My thing is with the whole hip hop being a battle sport. I feel if a lot of artists would utilize their vocabulary a lot more, instead of just saying, "Oh, I'll spin the block and bust you and your baby mama in the gut," and da, da, da. No, utilize your words. Like, really say, because if you talk about Busy being on, they didn't say that. They just
they
Mm.
still saying
didn't.
they was talking about I'm the best, and
They
which
didn't. But and that's kind of what DL was touching on. Like each person that he named, like he didn't diss nobody. You know what I'm saying? I was speaking hypothetically, but
No, but you're right. It
he
gets taken out of
it gets
context.
taken out of
Just
content
because you
by.
say someone's name, it gets taken a different way.
In the words of my man Loke, your name is your fame is your name. So when somebody says, and we all have experienced that, when you say somebody's name on any type of platform or whatever it is, people again have
Oh,
short attention spans. So
oh,
all they
wait,
heard was
wait, Neil.
my
Wait, Neil.
motherfucking name. That's it.
Wait,
Like,
wait, Neil.
no DL,
Wait, Neil.
no DL,
No, I'm just gonna say because
no
I have
DL,
I have no idea, but I think the other two guys on the call probably can
no.
relate to what you're saying. So
shit.
that's it. So I tap back out. You
See,
can
I
go
knew
now.
it.
That's
See,
that DL
see,
shit right
see.
there. Like, but okay. Again,
Deal ain't shit. Deal ain't shit, dog. Oh,
But even and I'll
You
just
Virgo guys are some wild guys, man.
it's very general, right?
I'm
But
on the phone
even
with a bunch of fucking Virgos too. I forgot that.
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
um,
But it's a true thing though. It's like just because like we're in a space where we associate with so many different people, and the moment you say someone's name in any capacity, it's immediately looked at in a negative way, right? It's no
absolutely.
grace given where it can be I'm complimenting, right? Like it's very very interesting to me of like what we are constantly like feeding into and almost not mindful of it. And so to the point of what you said, Neil, was like that's how it started. Yes, but do we continue it that way? Is there any kind of like is there any room for people going because the back and forth I personally never felt like Boston could handle beef
Hmm.
Get
because
get too personal.
it It's too personal, and I literally have seen the same person. So you know what? So your nephew, so Keith, right? Jeff, I seen him randomly. I was having lunch with my brother at this Thai restaurant. I seen him across the way, right? And then we spoke and had an exchange or whatever. Then I randomly end up at the Silk R&B party, and I see him again. Then I'm at the Mix. I see him again. And I'm like, God damn. And he is not the only person that happened to that week. Where I'm like, God damn, man. Like, you just can't. You go to Store 24, you go to 7-Eleven, you go to Shaw's, you bump into somebody. And then how's that go? How's that go when you was on live saying, oh, that nigga suck my dick? Okay, well, I want you to, like, what's your
Pause.
energy now exactly? Well,
See, that's the problem.
that's not an invite. God,
No, 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 no,
jeez.
no. It's not. I know. You're just speaking.
Yeah.
But that's the problem. When you express your art form and your skills, your pen game, and your rapping, um, like in the Drake record, they say that Drake referenced um Kendrick Lamar's wife,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Kendrick didn't reference Drake's girl, wife, baby mama, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Nor did Cole, right? So that's when shit gets taken out of content. Now we're talking about something different. When you invite another man to your genitals, it becomes something else.
It's
When you
different
start
now,
calling
though,
somebody out
Neil.
of their name, huh?
It's different now, though.
No,
We
no,
all feel that way because we knew what that meant. But now people just say it like it's fucking hello. You know what I'm
true,
saying?
but okay, but in this sport that we're talking about, those are still words of endearment. Like you're it's something else. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
So
wait, you mean words of
it,
engagement, not endearment.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
because
Thank you for correcting me.
endearment is that's a different live.
This is
And
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
think we're gonna be on that live. That's a different
No, we're not. Especially especially having this conversation. We're
live.
definitely not.
Look
But
at Jeff's face. Yeah. So what's
the point was
the closing? Do your closing, and we'll all go around do our closing remarks.
my closing. I would say I'm for it. I want to see where it goes. I'm hoping that they keep it sport.
Yeah,
You
look,
know,
let them
we're talking about
keep it.
different styles of
Yeah,
rappers. Like in to touch on what you were saying, like, again, when you call out somebody's name, just be prepared for that. Like, no, you got to be clear. Make
right,
your statement.
right,
You
right,
cannot say something and then don't finish out what you're saying and jump to something else because that again, things get taken out of context. It becomes a different problem, a different animal. That's what it is.
Mm.
right.
I'm looking forward to see where this goes as far as the sport of it.
Mm.
Dak.
Fuck that. Symba just put the nail in the coffin. I fuck with Symba, man. Fuck all of them.
Mm.
Fuck Symba. Symba's
Mm.
that guy.
Mm.
They want that
Mm.
smoke, holla at Symba.
Mm. Nah, they don't
Simba
want
didn't
that.
Yes.
diss
Simba's
nobody
a
though.
different guy.
Symba
Nah, he didn't.
was
He just spoke how he felt, man. He didn't take no shot at Cole. He just spoke how he felt, man. That's it.
Yeah,
That's all. That's it.
I heard that. He's tough.
Simba's tough.
Simba's a
He's a
different
problem.
That's
animal.
another.
They say the rap game all fucked up. Numbers is down, the niggas act like bitches, so the girls grew nuts. Niggas capping to the camera too much. Go broke, get on a podcast and disrespect they mans come up. Y'all boys worse than dope that's cut. Cause niggas step on everything instead of stepping they priorities up. Your baby mama drive a Ford that she can't even afford, and now she gotta clean floors for them kids that you ignore. We living in a war where most women is wanting more than what the nigga that they typically end up with can afford. So niggas going broke buying bottles and written forms, cause even if she ain't yours, she yours inside they're yours. They like Symba, drop some music, so I guess it's time. I've been acting and designing, bitch, I'm getting fly. I'm 2 steps ahead of you niggas who next in line. These laundry mad ass rappers be sounding washed and dry. They say I need a song with so and so, I'm not surprised. But every time I send a verse, these niggas petrified. It's time to kill the rap game for a second time. I'm doing drive-bys in a Tesla, that's an electric slide. I look the devil dead in his eyes like I ain't scared to die. For damn sure ain't scared to go to war with a friend of mine. Pushing through sunset, lighting up with the top down. Barbershop convos about who sit at the top now. The big three fucked up, Cole gave up his spot now. Can't say you top 5 if you scared to be hostile. I remember feeling your pain when you let Nas down, but you done let Boz down and Cos down. You done let the squad down. Can't say you the GOAT if you ain't popping it. We ain't tryna hear all them apologies. Dot told you niggas that he usually homeboys with who he rhyming with, but this is hip hop and you niggas should know what time it is.